House tour. Let's get to know my house, my way of living, and my 350 fruit trees. My Garden of Eden. How does a fruitarian live? Living on fruit for 20 years. Let's get in. So this is my house and I want to show you the idea that I had almost 20 years ago of showing the world that we can do a better way of living. Living the big cities, having a lot more health, planting our own food, having food security, spending less money, basis in permaculture, so we spend less, we have more sustainability in terms of planet, in terms of health, in terms of money. Everything can be better if we understand the basics. How I carry on my healthy lifestyle, living on fruit for 20 years and adopting a natural hygiene lifestyle, fasting, exercise, contact with plants, with nature, and a lot of other stuff. So let's get in. You can take a look at the garden, for example, a little bit of my fruit trees. There's durian there, bananas, sempejac, oranges, figs. I'm really happy to announce that 3 of my 10 books are now published in English, available on Kindle and print on demand on Amazon. My main book, The Eden's Diet, The Guide to Raw Frugivorous, the original diet. This is the most updated and comprehensive science book about diets. What we have in terms of raw foods, every detail that you need to understand to thrive in a raw food diet, to have more longevity and better health. In my humble opinion, what everybody in the world should understand. The Hygienic Fasting Nature Surgery, my most sold book in Portuguese. I'm pretty sure this is the best book on fasting in the world, the most updated in terms of science and in terms of natural hygiene practice. All the books have numerical bibliographical references, so it's not what I'm saying, but actually I can prove it. I quote by numerical references the scientific articles, the name of the scientist, the name of the journal, the scientific journal, the page, the year, and Natural Delicacies, Cooking Without a Stove, one of my recipe books with a lot of delicious raw vegan recipes like pancakes, cheese, dulce de leche, crepe, cakes, and a lot of delicious recipes without sugar, without oil, without salt, without anything that would damage your health. You want to learn more, get better in a raw vegan diet, get better in a natural hygiene lifestyle, be more productive, longevous, and healthy, you must read them. Hi there, I'm Dr. Corassa, clinical nutritionist from Brazil that have saved his own life almost 20 years ago through lifestyle medicine called natural hygiene or the science of health. So since then, I have dedicated my life to spread the word to the world about health is produced by healthful living. How you can improve your health by natural means without depending on myself or supplements or medical doctors or surgeries or drugs to produce health. Instead of that, just sunshine, sleep, exercise, diet, and other small details that can improve your capacity to live a healthier, better life. Red Cuban bananas, guava, sweet lime. There's a lot of stuff, sapote, atemoya. There's a lot of stuff in here. Plants are everywhere here. Why? Because they're health. You know, they're important to us. We have to be in contact with them. So they help out people to recover from surgery. They make our immune system better, our glycemic control better. They improve us in many ways. So I believe in living among plants because it's way much more cool. From a kid that grew up playing video games in an apartment, never having contact with plants, with fruit trees. Now I have at least 300 to 350 of them and a lot of rare ones from the best fruits in the planet. Adriano helps me out over here. There's a lot of managing in the garden to do and I was actually planting a lot of trees. So he from time to time give me a help. We're pruning the mango tree to get easier to pick the fruits and we don't lose a lot of fruits. So we prune it and then we shred all the material in a big shredder. So we can shred like wood, it can shred coconuts. I will show you later. Before showing you my house, I will show you my garden and also what I love to do most in this world. This is my tennis court. I dreamed of playing tennis for many years, but it was so much things to do. Like I didn't have money, I had to go to university, I lived in a big city. So after I moved to a small city, I kept like saving money to not just buy my tennis court, not just to build a tennis court, but also to plant like a huge garden of Eden for me to live in, for me to my family, my children one day to be able to eat from all these rare fruits, these medicine in the plants, the best medicine in the world, the best pills are actually the phytochemicals trapped within the fruits and the vegetables. Tennis is actually the longevity sport. So there's a lot of videos here in the channel about tennis. I suggest you to watch it. It will help you a lot to understand why tennis is the longevity sport and what is the best diet for tennis players. Because playing tennis will increase your longevity, increase your health. For sure, the most healthy sport that we know nowadays. So this is a part of my garden. You know, Jamaican cherry, white sapote, black sapote, and normal sapote, durian, green sapote. I try to plant the most delicious fruits on the planet. Yeah, for sure. The land, I leave all the material that we cut on the floor because this is a forest. The idea is to recreate a forest so the ground is always with material decomposing so the bacteria can eat, so the plants can thrive, they can have more nutrients to grow and give more tasty fruits. Spine soursop, papayas everywhere. Filma aquela ali, ó. Filmando. Look at this, for the next few months, these will be producing a lot of papaya. I have been eating papayas from my garden for at least 1 year, almost without buying papayas. Because there's a lot of papayas. They're quite easy to grow. And there's fig trees over here, custard apple. I have been learning a lot with agroforestry and trying to plant an agroforest over here. Like planting lines and putting like bananas and papayas and then a rare fruit. Bananas and papayas or cassava and a rare fruit. I don't eat cassava. You can see the other video here why I don't eat tubers. It's quite important for you to understand why we fruitarians, frugivores, don't eat tubers. But I try to plant even things that I don't eat so I can give to people, but not just that, because of the soil. It's better nourished when there's a lot of roots on the soil, when there's different varieties, different crops. Yeah. Keep the soil alive, keep the water getting into the soil. Dragon fruit, for example, a lot of people don't know this is a dragon fruit. So you can see, it's like I have here 3,500 square meters. Okay, so you understand the size of the garden. But like, it's my dream to have like durians on my backyard. You just wake up from my sleep and come down to the garden and have a durian to pick. So we shred the material from the trees. We trim the trees that are big, we shred and we throw on the floor, cover the soil around the fruit tree. So we have more humidity, we have more nutrients going to the soil. So it's better for the plants, better for us. I also, for the first few times in my life, I have been buying shit. Yes, cow shit. It's funny to say, right? For a kid that was growing in an apartment, buying cow shit to throw on the soil and to nourish the plants so they can give me better fruit. But yes, for sure. A lot of people don't understand that. Throwing shit on the ground is actually what the soil needs to be better nourished, to nourish the fruit trees, and they produce more fruit for us and more material so we can shred and throw in the soil again and make these cycles of life. So this is a huge part of the new garden. Before, when I bought the land like 8 years ago, I just bought that land. It was 1,600 square meters. I didn't know how to plant. I didn't know a lot of stuff, the best varieties of fruits. So I kept learning, and this is way much better focus on how agroforest would be. You can see mamey sapote, a lot of dragon fruits, a lot of durians, mabolo and soursop and raw sapote. And I'm trying to do everything in line nowadays. I do a lot of different stuff on planting because I have learned throughout these years a lot. So if you want to understand the best fruits to plant, how I do my planting nowadays, and a lot of other concepts, you can learn on these videos or in the other videos here on the channel. I try to put the links on the descriptions or in the cards. Just go through all the videos of the channel. You learn a lot about planting rare fruit trees if you are into fruits. They're the best foods in the planet when they are raw, right? If you cook and season it, etc., you can debate. I still think fruits are the best foods in the planet, but a lot of people can debate when they cook it. Raw, for sure. There's no doubt about it. We are primates. We are frugivore. We are made to run upon fruits and vegetables. And for sure, for someone that was really fat or obese and sick for 22 years of life, now 18 years and a half without any sickness, sore throat, sneeze, any sickness whatsoever. I function perfectly every day for almost 20 years and have a flat belly and a ripped abs. There's nothing better for an obese person to be able to look himself in the mirror, eat as much as you want, and still be healthy and satisfied and better than ever. So let's go to the other parts. It's a little bit messy, but we just did a storage room for the books because I have 10 books published. We sell the books to the whole world in Portuguese, right? So there are 6 scientific books, 4 recipe books, so people can easily do this transition, because back then I didn't have too much info on how to become a frugivore, how to adopt natural hygiene. There was no YouTube, there's no Instagram. It was way harder to learn how to adopt healthier lifestyle. So I ended up writing a lot of books to help people, and now we sell many books to the whole world. And I translated some of the books already to English. There's 3 books already published on Amazon, print on demand and Kindle. So here are the storage. We're still organizing the room. Here we are creating a paved way because we run the retreats here in my home as well. So I run retreats every January, Carnival, and July. So there's 25 people here learning how to adopt a healthier lifestyle and how to adopt a raw food diet. I teach raw gourmet recipes. Murilo will put here on the video a lot of the recipes that I teach and some videos showing the students. So I have like a lot of coconuts here, avocado trees, oranges, cecropia plant, gummy worm fruit, sugar cane. So here's one of the suites for the guests. Take a look at this view of the garden. Yeah, for sure. We're starting winter here, right? So it's not sunny, but usually it's quite sunny. The mango trees are full of flowers. So this is the terrace where you can see the whole region. It's quite beautiful. You can actually see even the beach, the church from Saquarema, that is like the main touristic part. Saquarema also happens, here in Saquarema happens the World Surf Tournament Tour. The last stage, right? The last part of the Surf World Tournament Tour. So let's take a look at my office and the studio where we record the videos for YouTube in the Portuguese channel, because the Portuguese channel is going for 1 million subscribers. My desk, the soft boxes for recording the videos, a ring light, my logo, the diplomas, title for Ambassador for Peace from the Universal Peace Federation that are received in Austria. It's an NGO connected to World Health Organization, WHO. My diploma for university, because here in Brazil we go for nutrition university and we spend like around 5 years in university. And also a diploma from the University of Natural Health. That is the only diploma in natural hygiene that we have in the world right now. And my 10 books published. And one of the books published already in English. And also a solar panel. That's one of the dreams I had, to have more sustainability. So I not just only spend less in my electric bills, but I also generate less pollution. I demand less from the world and produce more of my own needs. We harvest our own water here from the rainwater. I have shown in another video, you can understand more. So there's more sustainability because we don't need to buy as much water. Almost we don't buy water the whole year. Sugarcane press. I don't drink sugarcane every day, but once in a while, this is quite cool. And you can see a lot of mango trees. These mango trees became so huge. There's jackfruit tree over there. This is my nursling. This is my nursery, right? I put all the fruit trees that I'm trying to grow a little bit bigger and stronger and healthier so I can introduce them to the soil. So I maintain they in cover. They're in a better situation than just go into the soil directly, right? So they can have more chance to thrive and become a huge fruit tree. My loved coconuts, my precious. I usually drink 2 coconuts every day, so I don't have to drink regular tap water because of the contamination in them. Here is our garden raised beds. We have like oregano, mint, coriander, chives, hot peppers, and a lot of other stuff. Kale, a lot of people don't know, but you can eat kale raw with a lot of gusto. This is quite tasty. But the youngest the leaf, the tastier it is. Kale is so good. When it's in this stage, I could eat a lot. I can eat a lot of kale like this. Many haven't seen the flower of the dragon fruit, but this is the dragon fruit for me, right? The flower, when it's open, is so beautiful. What I was talking about, the flowering of the fruit trees. Take a look. You can see these small blossoms. You know, this is the flowers start to open, and then you have a sweet lime forming. Quite cool, right? And you can see on the ground, the cow's manure already dried that we throw on the floor, and the sugarcane pulp. Yes, it looks not as good as just the grass, but to reproduce nature and to reproduce the quality of the soil that we would have, we need to do this. So this is the place people eat during the retreat, where we give the classes. The puppy that we have adopted, she was on the streets, really undernourished, with a lot of ticklings, a lot of microorganisms, you know, a lot of those bitey things that live on the skin of dogs. It was like so crowded, but now she's so healthy and happy, a lot different than it was before. So this is the kitchen. You can take a look here, the equipment and the coconuts. These are the equipments that I use. I didn't have much time to organize the kitchen, but I was organizing my lunch, right? So I always cover my lunch. Afterwards, I can show you better, but this is my lunch, and I'm sprouting some chickpea for dinner. I will do a video on sprouts afterwards. My tennis bag and my Djokovic rackets, I'm a fan. So I invite you to watch the video from why tennis is the longevity sport and what is the best diet for tennis players. Here on the channel, it's 2 separate videos. You learn a lot because exercise is a part of healthy living. Exercise is a part of diet. It's interconnected. You cannot disconnect both. So check it out, a fruitarian fridge. I prefer the term frugivore, right? But you know, we just use fruitarian because people understand a little bit better. So it's persimmon season, right? So we eat a lot of persimmons. I love persimmons, and actually some of these papayas are harvested. I harvest from the garden, and some were actually donated in the farmer's market. They were really ripe. He thought he was going to lose them all, and he just gave me a box because I buy a lot of stuff from him, right? So that's the best part of being a frugivore. You get a lot of free food. The drawer for the vegetables, because I don't live on fruit. Although the headlines of the video says I live on fruit, it's not that I live on fruit. The diet is primarily fruit and a lot of vegetables, but it's not just that, right? So here are my books as well. A lot of the grains and legumes that we eat, they are here because I'm going to record a video for you guys on what kinds of proteins do I eat, Is there necessity for protein in a raw vegan diet, a raw food diet? So that's why they were there. So I have two dehydrators. I almost don't use them actually, but I use them mostly to teach. And I also for sure have pans because I have electrical cooktops. They don't need gas, right? I don't use pans usually, but I don't live alone, and I also, when I'm teaching, I use the pots and pans to help to make the food a little bit more gourmet. This is the living room, my new couch. You know, we have to have a chill in the end of the day. And I didn't have a TV for, you know, maybe 13 years or something like that. I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. I watch things that I can learn from. I watch information, data, or maybe sometimes a movie once in a while. You know, the TV is here just for the end of the day, a few 15 minutes to 20 minutes of watching some highlights of tennis players. And, you know, in the first few years of becoming a raw fooder and a natural hygienist, I read many, but many, dozens of books. More than 100 books. And primarily, the 80-10-10 diet was the first book I read on raw foods. For sure, I was visionary to not fall on the idea of sprouting too much, of, you know, the living food movement, and I thought like being a frugivore it was a lot more sound. I was right. So this for sure. I love Doug. This is the second best book in the world about being a frugivore. The first one for sure is mine, but I still love you. Love you, my second dad. I feel Doug as my second dad because he saved my life back then, and he has the second best information in the world about how to become a raw fooder. Yeah, it's free marketing, Doug, so give me a break. And for sure, Herbert Shelton's books. I read probably 10 books of Herbert Shelton. It was pretty amazing information, and Herbert Shelton was a visionary. His books are still way ahead of the time, although they're like the last one he probably published 50, 60, 70 years ago, right? And this is my room. It's quite simple. I don't focus too much on decoration, and I'm not a fancy guy, you know. I'm more focused in my work, in changing people's lives, in experiencing life as well. I don't believe in having too much material things, although I have been fortunate to help a lot of people and they helping myself as well. I have a good career here in Brazil. I want to start a good career for the world, in English as well, so I can promote this idea of health through healthful living to the whole planet, because I really believe I'm saving the planet. I'm saving people's lives. We have testimonials from cancer, heart disease, diabetes, any kind of diseases whatsoever, being helped a lot, or maybe even being reversed by adopting a natural hygiene lifestyle. And that's what I help people to do. They become more healthier, and all of us living in a better world, a better planet, a better existence for everybody. So for sure, I would prefer to sleep on something more natural, but even the couches, even the beds nowadays are all made of plastic, unfortunately. But I try to make my house as clean as possible in terms of petrochemicals. In the kitchen, for example, using mostly glass and not plastic. I have a lot of details on, you know, how to live. For sure, paying attention to chronobiology. I have a lot of lights inside of my house, and also I have a lot of windows, so there's natural lights coming into my house. But at night, I practice what we call circadian lightening. I'm not exposed to blue lights. I have dinner early. I have a lot of scientific details that I incorporate in my daily living and my daily diet. I try to not use Wi-Fi as much. Nowadays, I use it a little bit more. I already did for a long time connecting the internet through a cable on my cell phone, and not using the Wi-Fi. If I use the Wi-Fi nowadays, I make sure at least to turn off the Wi-Fi and all the electric devices from the electricity before I go to sleep. For sure, using a wooden toothbrush, but I also don't use toothpaste. Another controversial part of my lifestyle nowadays that I adopted just 2 years ago is not crapping in the water, crapping on the soil. No, I don't just take a crap on the soil actually, but I use this as my toilet. A wooden box with toilet seats, because I put a big plastic box inside it. I defecate. I do number 2. I close the lid of the box and I just take it to the garden and throw into a compost, human manure compost, where I let it ferment and decompose for a while, and then I use that compost to nourish the plants. That means I use my poop as a fertilizer to the plants, as human beings and as animals have used and have been done for all existence on planet Earth. So that's what people need to understand. Pooping on the water, it's actually disgusting, because we end up consuming the water that we poop, because that water is going to the sewage system and being cleaned out and comes back to us. The same water we poop, we are going to drink it after being filtered and cleaned? I don't think so. It doesn't make any sound. It doesn't make it. It's not logical. Not just because of our health, but because of the health of the plants. We can use our poop to fertilize the plants and have a better soil and have a better fruits, have better food, have more nutrients in the food that we eat. So yes, for sure, you can call me crazy, but I do human manure. I compost my shit to throw back to the plants and make fertile soil again. A regenerative agriculture, where we use everything that we throw away. I hope you enjoyed getting to know a little bit of my life and my house. And if you like the video, don't forget. And if you want help with your own health, don't forget, I attend patients online and in person. I run retreats every January, Carnival, and July. And I also have 10 books published, 3 already available in English on Amazon, print on demand, and Kindle. I highly recommend you to start reading The Eden's Diet, The Guide to Raw Frugivorism, the original diet. And also, I have 6 online courses that are being translated to English. If you like the video, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button for notification, comment below, share the video, give it a thumbs up. The more you interact with YouTube, the more he thinks you like our content. They showed our content to more people, and then you get more videos because you share the video. The more the channel grows, the better you get, the better information you get. Health is produced by Healthful Living, and much frugal health to you. Click on these videos to know more.